The Penguin is on vacation in Arizona on his conference. I can't go there. I can't tell that. I can tell you, though, that a man was at a funeral service of a close friend when the widow came up to him and said, "I'd like you to say a word." The man agreed, and he said, "Plethora." She said, "Thanks. That means a lot." So I'm very comfortable speaking in public. But I'm going to give you a heads up right now that this one might be a little awkward for me. I am beyond humbled by all this, beyond humbled. And I don't believe that this is about me. It's about a program and a college and what they represent. And then through the kindness of many, I get to be the reason this group has gathered this weekend. And I've gotten a lot of attention over the past few years, uncomfortably so. But because of my title as head coach, I'm the one who gets to start off NCAA postseason press conferences. I'll say that again. NCAA postseason press conferences with marginally witty or entertaining remarks. And I get to do newspaper interviews, and I get to do radio shows or TV spots. And I'm the one who gets the random Coach of the Year award. Ain't giving it back. But all those things I get to experience and am given are because of the players and coaches I've had here for 28 years. And it's because of athletic directors Terry Holland and Jim Murphy, and presidents John Kirkendall, Bobby Vott, Tom Ross, and Carol Quillen, who have been patient and who truly understand and appreciate what it means to do things the right way, irrespective of the number of wins in the win-loss column. When I was in my first year as assistant coach at Richmond in 1984, Ken Hart, who was an assistant athletic director at the time, asked me what I was looking for out of coaching. I got released by Boston in '82, still a grave mistake on their part. So Ken asked me that question. It's kind of a broad, hard to answer question, but I vividly remember saying to him, and I actually mentioned this to someone at Richmond last week when we played there, I said, "You know, Ken, I'd love to find a place where I really felt like I could stay for a while." Fortunately, I met Susan not long after that, and she agreed with some very distinct parameters to go along for this ride. So I guess I can consider that a goal accomplished. I've said this many times at a variety of events, but I look around the room and I can't remember exactly who played with who graduated when, and that, aside from it being a characteristic of someone in their 60s, is a clear sign of family. At the A-10 tournament at Fordham a couple of years ago, Dave Williams, class of '91, was driving to the ballpark, and he saw a gentleman wearing what was clearly a Davidson baseball jacket, an older one, walking to the ballpark. So Dave stopped and picked up Brad Edwards, class of '96, and another friendship and another bond are created. And at the Old Timers game last fall, and especially at the social activity afterwards, players from every era were hanging out together, telling similar stories of baseball at Davidson and about each other. Family again. I and many, many others watched some great stuff by our team last year, but I've witnessed great stuff for 28 years, much of which cannot be measured by wins and losses. I've watched them work, I've watched them take ownership, take initiative. No one coaches perfectly, no one plays perfectly, but we all try and do it the right way and learn and adjust and get better. Last year's postseason gave me a platform to espouse even more what I've always believed about Davidson, and I hope my new role allows me to do the same, but on behalf of more sports and more coaches and more athletes and more factions of the college, but all in the name of and for the good of Davidson. Last week we played at Richmond, my alma mater. A close friend and former teammate who picked me up at the hotel for dinner one Friday night or Saturday night was incredibly enamored watching the parents of our players, their friends who made the trip, and our players and coaches interact so comfortably with one another. And he said he was envious and a bit sad that we, Richmond baseball alumni, did not have that same level of connection to Richmond or a baseball experience there. And I told him, I said, it's hard to explain, it's just something about Davidson. The word culture is a hot phrase in athletics right now. And as I finally step away from this a little bit, I am so intensely proud and appreciative of that culture at Davidson. That is Davidson baseball, it's Davidson athletics, and it's Davidson College. There ain't no other place like it. My family has embraced a college and a town, and a college and a town has embraced us. In 1991, we were playing in the Big South Conference tournament hosted by Coastal Carolina in Conway, South Carolina, my first year at Davidson. Winthrop's coach at the time, a gentleman named Horace Tuberville, longtime college coach, was retiring at the end of the night. So before the tournament began, there was a retirement celebration for Coach Tuberville in a room at the Western Sizzlin in Conway, South Carolina. That event began as soon as the Kiwanis Club cleared out. So Horace had been in a really serious automobile accident with a tractor trailer, and he won millions of dollars in a settlement. And in one of the best drop the mic moments ever, at the end of his speech, he said, once he thanked everyone, he said, "Remember, you can't get rich coaching." Unless you get hit by a truck. So I believe very strongly that things happen for a reason. And while I didn't get financially rich from the events of that night 5.5 years ago, I think one reason I survived was to allow my life to get richer and continue to be a part of the gatherings of my families.